This is Fred Kahl, and welcome to Zillij, the Islamic Geometry Studio. This is a tool that I have been building, and it allows for the creation of vector artwork forming sacred geometries, and it works on a sort of snap-based system. This is the second video giving an overview of the program. The first video went through shapes, and in this video we're going to look at the connect points tool and the cut lines tool. So with no further ado, I'm going to get going. I'm going to start by creating a circle that has 16 points around the perimeter. I'm going to click and drag up a big circle. If I turn on the Isect button up top, you're going to see that we have all these points around the edge. So those are going to give us some points to draw some lines from. And let's get going. So by default, the draw tool, really it's as simple as it needs to be. You click once, you click twice, and you've created a line. However, the power of this program is the ability to do this work in symmetry. So I'm going to undo that, and this time I'm going to turn on this symmetry, propagate to N, and let's make this, we're going to do an 8-fold symmetry pattern, so we're going to set it to 8. So I'm going to click there and go to the center, and we've divided our circle perfectly into 8. And I'm just going to do that one more time to the half steps as well, so that we have all our lines built in. We also could make let's do this, connect that line to that point to that point, and now we've created these two interlocking squares forming an 8-pointed star in the middle of this. So those are going to be our construction lines for what we're going to draw. And I'm going to actually turn down the visibility of that. I'll leave it a little high so you can see in the video. We'll put it to 40%. And I'm going to add a new layer. You see that there's a color assigned to this layer. I'm going to call this design. And maybe if I make it a little brighter, let's make it a brighter color so everybody can see. We'll give it this kind of like turquoise blue color. And let's start drawing. So what I want to do is I want to connect this point to this point. Oh, I don't want to do this in symmetry right this minute. Let's just show you with a single line. All right. So, but I actually want to use these 2 points as the guide, and I want the line to go here to where it intersects this line and where it intersects here. Okay. There's a couple ways that we can do this. So let me undo that. Under draw, there's an option called through line mode. So if I, again, draw from there to there, you see it extends the line all the way to the edge of our design. I can then select the cut lines tool, and I can delete that segment and that segment. So that, oh, I got too big with my cut there. Interesting. All right. That's one way that we could work. There's a better way though. So I'm going to undo this, and we're going to look one more time. Under the draw tool, there's another tab, align and trim. So I'm going to turn off through line mode, and let's look at align and trim. My design, if it gets, kind of, you can option drag on the canvas, but when you hit the fit button up top, it'll automatically size things bigger. So we are going to do this in symmetry this time. So I'm going to turn back on propagate to N, and I'm going to click on these 2 points. So from there to there, and that's the alignment that we want for the line that we are going to make. Now I'm going to zoom in using the scroll button on my mouse, and I'm going to click on that line, and I'm going to zoom out, and then I'm going to zoom in up top, and I'm going to click right there. And lo and behold, it has now drawn all 8 of these lines perfectly. I can then switch back to my draw, and look, we're going to create a rosette. So I'm going to click from there to there and there to there. So that's a pretty quick way of working. I'm going to turn off my construction lines now, turn off our intersection points, and we have almost a perfectly done rosette. The only change I'm going to make is I'm going to delete these points, these line segments in the middle to make an 8-pointed star. Now, because there is 8 of them and we're working in symmetry, I can turn on propagate to end. And you'll see how as I roll over these lines that I might want to cut, the other ones in symmetry will highlight. So that's the lines that I want to remove. And now we have a perfect 8-point rosette. So that's a good quick way of working. We're going to go one step further, and we're going to just look at how you might actually use layers in the select tool. So you'll notice that the layers palette up here, we have the ability to select a layer, and we've automatically moved to the selection tool. There's some options below it, so that we can horizontally flip or rotate or scale or delete, etc. Those icons also mirror up here. So there's a select tool, there's turn on and off visibility, there's lock so that we don't actually edit or create something on a layer we don't want to. And then there's a duplicate and a delete link as well. I'm going to duplicate this star. And you notice now we have a design copy layer, and it is purple here. So I have the select tool selected. I'm going to actually select a point, and I'm going to make another point right there. And we're going to do one more. Make one more copy of this central one. This one is orange, and let's select that one. And you notice that I'm grabbing it by a point, and then it's snapping right to the point I want to align it to. So now we've quickly created this composition where we have 3 rosettes, and you can see that we're beginning to form a star right here. So the last thing I want to show you under the line tool is the select line. So in fact, the draw tool does have a select line, but select line is just probably the cleanest way to do it. So when I select that line segment right there, let's turn off the propagate to end this time. We're just going to do it to this one line segment. You see that it has a circle on both ends and then an arrow facing this direction. So I actually want to extend this line in this direction over here. And how I can do that is under the select line tool, we have extend, and I can extend in both directions, or I can extend the end with the arrow, or I can extend the end without the arrow. So I'm going to extend that line. I'm going to do the same move here, and this time it's the side with the arrowhead. And we're going to do the same move up here. And you can see our stars are starting to block in. And we now have our stars. They're a little irregular stars. They're not a perfect star in this design, but we now have extended those lines to create that. So that concludes this video. That was the connect points tool and the cut lines tool. If we were doing this with symmetry, we could also, place things, but for now, that's the start of those two tools. And happy geometering. And I hope you will use Zillij. It's located at fredini.linearlife.com/Zillij. So pull it up in your browser and have a play. Enjoy. Bye.